I know you guys need some action. So let me put a little something on the screen. I know you guys get tired of looking at my face every day, right? So I'll leave you guys with a little bit of entertainment, I suppose. There we go. There it goes. Does your mindset create wealth? All right. So I've been looking at some of my old videos and stuff like that. And then going through looking at the videos, I've been taking myself back to the mindset I had at the times that I was making some of these videos. All right. And it inspired me to talk a little bit about building your mindset to create wealth. All right. So what does Mike mean by that? Well, I want to get us out of the thought, I guess the way that we were raised to live a life of, it's somewhat like poverty, if you really think about it. Okay. If you live a life where, you have to work 40 hours a week and go answer to someone else, and your income is affected by the decisions that other people make because you've signed a contract to go work for someone else, right? To use your skills to improve someone else's lifestyle. Okay. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but that is the mindset of poverty, not prosperity. Okay. Think about it. You go and work 40 hours out of your week to help somebody else's business. If you don't own a business. Okay. I'm just saying the majority of people work for someone else. Well, you know what? Hold on. Let me take this off the screen for you guys. We don't need that. There we go. That's better. Okay. Now we can see what's going on. All right. So enjoy the ride, guys. So yeah, we go and work 40 hours to make somebody else's business better. If you work for a big business, small business, a big engineering firm, maybe you work for a contractor, maybe you use your skills as I was a plumber before. I've done landscaping. I was in the military. I use my skills to improve somebody else's life. And yes, the military is used to improve other people's lives. Okay, I'm not going to get too deep into that because we want to stick to the topic today. Okay, but yeah, so you work 40 hours. That's the average work week, right? 5 days a week. 8 hours a day, and you have a set income. For the most part, even the people that do well for themselves, making 60 grand and above, annually, you can live anywhere in America on 60 grand. Right now, is it the same lifestyle that, someone else that lives in that same area that makes twice as that? If somebody lives, for instance, in New York City and you make 60 grand, you can survive in New York City on 60 grand. But will you live the same way as the guy that's making 120 grand? Maybe, maybe not. Okay. But either way, both of you, if you're working for someone else, that is a life of poverty because you are dependent on someone else for your lifestyle, for your income. In order for you to get what you want, you have to go do that job for someone else. Okay. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not stuck that way. Nobody is stuck there. Okay. You don't have to do the whole, 40 hours a week for 40 years of your life to end up with a retirement of maybe 40% of your income coming in. Okay. It doesn't have to be that way. We all know stories and we all know someone who started out at the bottom. That's how we like to say, right? They started out at the bottom and they worked their way up. Okay, and they work themselves out of poverty into prosperity. But why is it that we all don't go through that? Why is it that most people end up stuck working 40 hours a week for 40 years plus? I get sad when I hear people say, oh, I worked for 55 years. When did you start working, man? Were you 10 to retire at 65, 70? But see, we've gotten brainwashed into this concept that is good. And in my mind, I cannot accept that is the way that life is supposed to be. And a lot of people will disagree with me and say, no, that's the way we're designed. And I disagree. That's the way we were brainwashed to think. If you watch the movies, television, all the media, what you learn in school, what do they tell you? Go work for someone else. Look forward to a retirement when you're old and you don't have the ability to go out and enjoy, use your youth to enjoy the world and all the fruit that the world bears, because we're too busy working for someone else. One of the things that I've learned in my years, and this is one of the things when I was in my bike club, we used to do charity events. One of the things that I learned is you can't help the poor. You might help them enjoy a day, but giving freely to the poor does not help them. Maybe a pair of socks gets them through a few weeks. Maybe some underwear, a hoodie. You do the little clothing drives and stuff like that. It only helps them for a very small amount of time. But by giving to the poor, we're enabling them. When in reality, what we should be doing is inspiring the poor. The people that are doing less than us, they need to be inspired. It's like, what is that saying? Give a man a fish, you feed him for a day. If you teach a man to fish, you can feed him for a lifetime, right? That's the mentality that we should be carrying. Inspire people to do better for themselves. But that goes for all levels. Anybody who's working for someone else needs to be inspired to take the next step. To use those skills that they've gained working for someone else and move forward in life to do better for themselves. I used to have a whole series called Do Better. And that's where that mentality comes in. Do better, do more. Right? Because staying stuck in one position, once you get the job, that should not be it for you. That should not be the end of the road of you getting more out of life. There is another step after you get the job. Right? Now, a lot of people think, oh, I'm just going to get a higher paying job. And that's where all the brainwashing comes in. We believe that we have to work for those 40 years for someone else and wait for them to tell us it's okay to leave. It's okay to take a lunch break. It's okay to not come into work today because you're not feeling well. That's all a poverty mindset. Nowhere in that mindset does it create wealth. They figured out, I want to say sometime in the mid 1900s, oh, you know what? If we want to keep these people here, we're going to have to give them a little something, give them a little hope. So what do? They introduced the 401k plans, right? The retirement, the pensions. Said, you know what? If you work for me for these 40 years, I'm going to give you a little something at the end of your time. Yeah. So they tricked us into thinking, oh yeah, you're going to be able to stop working one day and still get paid. And so because we were told that you have to work to make money, right, to live the life you want, you have to work for someone else. And if you come work for me, I'll pay you at the end of your work life when you're too old to enjoy it. Maybe you could be an old person. You get to go on a cruise, all right, and watch the other people, the younger people, the people who built their own businesses, the people who went a step further than just getting a job, but took their skills and created some type of value they could give to the world. In order to do that, you have to have a vision. Okay? The younger you are, the more imagination you have. But you have to have a vision. That's part of the mindset that creates wealth. You have to have a vision of what you want out of your life. Do you want to just work? Is that your end goal? Do you just want to work for someone else, have the bare minimum that whatever they decide, you guys decide on your contract, that's where your life ends up. So if you make 50 grand a year or 60 grand a year or 100 grand a year, is that the end? Is that where it stops for you? And if you get fired, or if you get laid off, or your business that you work for goes under, right? Now you have to go make a new contract with someone. And what we learned during this pandemic is that can happen at any moment. So to create this mindset, the first thing you need to do is have a vision. Ask yourself, what is the purpose of your current path? Why do you wake up every day and do the things you do on any given day? Do you know what you want out of life? Do you know what it is that that you want to end up with at the end of your work life or your usable youth? These are some of the things that you should be thinking about. And this, creating these thoughts will change your life and will start to create a mindset of wealth. Okay, now I'm doing a series of videos. All my videos lead this way, but I always talk about mindset, and I haven't really talked about mindset in a while. I've been telling you guys about investing and the XRP and the Doge GF and the stocks and the crypto, all of it, right? Buying land and real estate, making a business, but we have to figure out how to get there. And the first step is having a vision, knowing what you want. All right. And we'll talk more about it later. All right. Because once you know what you want, then you can start planning for it. You can figure out what steps you have to take to get there. Do you want to travel? If you live somewhere where it's cold, do you want to go somewhere where it's warm in the winter? Have 2 houses, maybe 3. Have one in the tropics, in the islands somewhere. Have a little cabin in the woods up in Denver so that during snow season you can go skiing. Do you want to have experiences all over the world? Go to Abu Dhabi and Dubai and China and Asia, in the Philippines and Europe, and go up the Eiffel Tower. Do you want to stand inside the Statue of Liberty? All those things. But you have to have a vision for you have to see yourself doing it. If you can't see yourself doing it, you'll never get there. You've got to create that vision. You've got to want it. And I made a video the other day that had the word desire in the title. And this is to inspire you to start thinking about what is it you really want out of the life that you're living. All right, guys. So I'm going to go ahead and end it here. And I want you guys to start thinking about these things. Let's get our mindset to a mindset of wealth. Let's get out of the brainwash that has been given to us of just going to school, going to college, getting a good job, get married, have 2.5 kids, a dog, and maybe a cat, and you're supposed to be happy. Well, we've learned already that's not the truth of life. All right? People are not ending up happy in life. Majority of people are not enjoying the life that they've been brainwashed to live. So I'm coming to you guys to change that. Let's start something new. Let's build up that wealth. And then we can all go race our yachts or jet skis. All right, guys, I'm out of here.